Guys, so first things first, we'll be starting out prepping the skin, and I am using my Color du Jour Prime and Set Spray for this. Right now I'm just taking a moment to groom her brows with a spoolie, and then I'm going in to fill them in with my NYX Cosmetics brow pencil in the shade Chocolate. So I've said this in previous tutorials of mine, and I'll definitely say it again. When working on the brows, I like to start with the perimeter and just get it nice and outlined, and then start filling it in gradually. And I toggle back and forth between the spoolie itself and the pencil, just making sure the front of the brow is faded so that the overall brow has that nice gradient effect, and then just making sure to fill in those sparse areas to create an overall beautiful, nicely shaped brow. So right now I'm going in with my NYX brow gel in Espresso and just making the brow just more defined. To carve out her brows, I am going in with my LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Fawn to just give the brows a really nice shape and to clean them up. To prime her eyelids, I am using that leftover concealer that's still on my hand from when we carved out her brows. And then I'm going to go in with a beauty blender to smooth everything out before we actually apply the eyeshadow. So right now I'm going in with Rule eyeshadow by MAC, which is just this really pretty orange color, and I'm using that as like her transition / crease shade right now. For her lid color, I'm starting out by going in with Amber Lights, which is this really pretty gold shade, and I am using the tip of the brush to really help carve out her eyelids and just round them out a bit. I'm going in with Nylon eyeshadow by MAC, and I'm applying that directly on top of that Amber Lights eyeshadow that we just put down, and this is going to create more of a champagne color on the lids rather than a gold. Now I'm going into the crease in her outer V with Saddle eyeshadow, which is another MAC shadow, and we are just slowly working this into the crease and just building and warming things up a bit. Taking my Huda Beauty Desert Dust palette, I'm going back into her outer V and crease with the shadow OUD, which is just this really dark brown. I'm also taking the amber eyeshadow from that same Huda Beauty Desert Dust palette with a dual fiber blending brush and just working that into the crease. And you will notice that I am toggling back and forth between that amber eyeshadow as well as the OUD eyeshadow and just playing with them both and building them both into the crease and the outer V. For her brow bone highlight, I'm going in with the BH Cosmetics x Missy Lynn palette. I think this palette is worth it just for the highlighters. And then for her tear ducts, I'm going in with the MAC eyeshadow in the shade Arena. For her eyeliner, I am using my MAC Black Chromaline gel eyeliner, and when doing my wings, I like to start out with a straight line going straight across, and then I fill that line in towards the lash line, and then when I'm working on the wing, I basically flick that line out towards the brow and then pull that line to connect it with the remaining part of the line that we've already created in the beginning. And then I use my finger in this case to kind of like smudge out the wing a little bit, just a little. The warmth from your finger kind of changes the texture of makeup, so I like to use that trick to like flick out the wing a little bit. I think that's pretty cool. So I decided I wanted to create more depth in her eye, so I'm going in with my Sephora eyeshadow in the shade Coffee, and it's more of a cooler brown rather than a warm brown, which is what we've been using up until this point, and as you can see, it's definitely giving us that depth that we want with this eye. So we've already prepped Nidra's skin with the Color du Jour Prime and Set Spray, but now I'm going in with my NARS Light Optimizing Primer, and I'm applying this to the highest points of her cheek. I think just by doing this, it will set us up for success when we go in to apply her cheek highlight a little later. For her lashes, I am going in with the Broadway Demi Wispies, and I am using the Duo Lash Glue, not the tube, but the actual stick. This dries so fast, and it's just so great. For foundation, I'm going in with my MAC Studio Fix Fluid in the shade NC50. Now this is probably my favorite part of the entire process, and that is the highlighting, because I feel like this is where people really start to come into form. So for her highlight, I'm going in with my LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Fawn, and we are just gonna snatch this face, ladies. Now, too much highlighting to the face can be a little bit overwhelming, so you definitely want to bring balance back into the face, and that is where contouring comes in. So for her contour, I'm going in with my LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Mahogany, and we are just going to lift and sculpt these cheekbones and snatch this nose and just have fun with it. So if you feel like at any point your contour has gotten a little bit out of control, just go back in with your beauty blender. Remember to use the tip of that beauty blender just for the highlighted areas, and then use the butt of that beauty blender to just buff out that contour and just soften it up some. To set this beautiful highlight, I am going in with my Ben Nye powder in the shade Camel. To dust away this powder, I'm going in with my Color de Jour number 20 brush. This is my absolute favorite brush for this task. I don't know what I was doing with my life before I discovered this brush. It's literally the best. For the foundation powder, I'm going in with my BH Cosmetics Pro Studio powder in the shade 250, and you will notice that I am applying this over her entire face, including the contour area. I think if you come to a point in the makeup application where you feel like the contour is just a little bit more intense than you want it to be for that look, then you can definitely just go right over it with foundation powder, and it'll just slightly lighten it a little bit. For her contour, I am going in with my MAC blush in the shade Blunt. So it is a blush, but it's a very warm brown, and I use it all the time as a contour. It's great. Going in with another bronzer, I'm using my Absolute New York Pro Bronzer in the shade Dark. I love this bronzer because it has a bit of shimmer in it, and it's not matte. A lot of the times with matte products, if you go too matte with a matte foundation, a matte bronzer, then you'll start to look flat. So if you bring in a product with a little bit of shimmer, it'll help you look a little bit sun-kissed. To highlight her cheekbones, I'm using my BH Cosmetics x Missy Lynn palette. Again, I love this palette just for the highlighters, and I'm using my e.l.f. highlight brush to do this. For blush, I'm going in with my MAC See Me, Hear Me blush from their Aquatic collection. And when applying blush, I like to go directly in between the highlight and the contour to just kind of marry everything together nicely. Now, to be a little extra, I decided to go in with a little bit more highlight from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nicole Guerrero highlighter kit in the shade 143. for this look, we wanted to create a really smoldering under eye, so I'm going in with my Sephora kohl liner in the shade Intense Black, and I'm smudging that out into her waterline. Then I'm going in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills World Traveler Kit, and I'm taking that black eyeshadow from it with that same smudge brush and just smudging out that waterline. For mascara, I'm using the Maybelline Big Shot, and my technique is to wiggle at the base to create volume and pull to create length. To line her lips, I'm using my NYX Cosmetics lip pencil in dark brown, and I'm going in on top of that with my Stone lipstick by MAC. For a little bit more added intensity and staying power, I'm outlining the perimeters of her lips with the NYX Lip Lingerie in the shade Beauty Mark. And to finish off this lip, I'm going to go into the center of her lips with the MAC lipstick in the shade Really Me.